So for reassembling big cubes, whether they're magnetic or non-magnetic, they usually reassemble in the same or very similar ways. The biggest difference is just from brand to brand and model to model, the actual pieces can be slightly different in design, but that really shouldn't have that big of an effect on how to reassemble the cube. In this case, we have two of the same pieces. As you can see, the design is the same, just different colors, which means that for reassembling these, it's going to be the same exact process. We're just going to do it twice. So let's go ahead and start off with the yellow piece. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen the cube. So you're going to take the cap off the center. There should be a screw in there. Just take a screwdriver and just loosen it. I like to keep track of how many quarter turns I do. I usually do about 8. That can usually guarantee that the cube is loose enough for me to put the piece back in fairly easily. So the first thing I'm going to do is take these two edge pieces out. So I'm going to turn it slightly like this, so they're kind of in line with this edge here. And I'm going to grab both of them and I'm just going to kind of twist and pull until they work their way out. If they're kind of struggling to come out, you can also loosen it just a bit more. So now grab the piece you need to reassemble. I'm going to turn it over like this so yellow is in front of me now and not on top. It's just going to make it a little bit easier to put this piece in. And I'm just going to kind of slip it into where it needs to go. And as you can see, it's not quite flush with the other pieces. And all we need to do is push the stem here. So I'm just going to reach into the core, push down on it a little bit, and now it's flush with the other pieces. Now to put these pieces back in that we took out earlier, take the top layer, unalign it a little bit. And what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of spread these pieces apart like this. It's going to make it a little bit easier to put these two pieces in. So we're going to spread them apart a little bit and kind of go in at an angle, kind of tilted like this. And you're just going to kind of want to twist them into the right spot until they work their way in. And before I move on to any other pieces I may have to reassemble, I like to just tighten this screw before I forget. So I did about 8 quarter turns, so I'm going to tighten it by about 8 quarter turns. Then I'm just going to take my center cap here, place it on there and push down, and that side is good to go. And we're going to move on to this next piece here, which again, the process will be pretty similar, so I'm going to go through it a little bit faster. So first, take off the center cap to reveal the screw. We're going to loosen it. We're now going to unalign this top layer here so that these two edges are in line with this edge. We are going to then twist and pull them out like that. I like to turn the cube over for this next part because it makes it a little bit easier to put the piece in. And you're just going to hook this edge around like that. And you're going to push on the stem of the piece to make sure that it's flush with the rest of these. Once again, just going to unalign the top layer here. Going to spread these pieces apart and twist and push these pieces back into place. In the situation that these pieces really just don't want to go back in, what you can do is actually loosen it once again. And it's okay if these pieces fall. I'll show you how to fix that. So I've loosened it even more. In this situation, if they fall, you can usually just push them back up into place. If once again, it's not fitting flush with the rest of the pieces, just push on the stem in the back until it's flush. And now we're going to try and put these pieces back in. So once again, we're going to spread these apart a little bit, push and twist until it's in place. Make sure to tighten up your cube. And you can put your center cap back on, and your cube is now good to go.